Okay, back on the bench today we have the second chassis of this pair of chassis I just received. In the previous video we had the universal chassis that I fixed, and I originally was going to do both these in the same video, but after everything that went down with the universal chassis and taking a closer look at this one, there was no way that was going to happen. So we got the universal chassis fixed in the previous video, so this video is going to focus on the 7000. And this was sent in because probably has bad HOT, voltage regulator, and at least a couple of the large resistors. There were some strange whining noises coming from it prior to the circuit breaker tripping. And I mentioned before he got tired of the fuse blowing, so he put a breaker in there. And when I got this originally in the previous video, you saw that I took the fuse out and it was a fast blow. So I had the wrong type of fuse installed, so that might have been problem number one. And I have had some of these in the past where somebody had a blown fuse and they put the wrong type in. Instead of the 2 amp slow blow, they put the 2 amp fast blow, and they kept troubleshooting and troubleshooting. It turns out it was just the wrong fuse they had put in. But I don't think that's the case, and I'll show you why in a moment. But if we get back to this, it says, I did the best I could with jumpers, bridging, missing traces. So yeah, this has been quite butchered. One thing of note is that R101 has been replaced with, I think all these resistors have been changed out to some other, well, different kinds from the factory, different styles or types, and then the shutdown pot has been replaced, and it's set completely incorrectly. If we look at it here, I gotta make an adjustment on the camera, okay? Somebody has replaced the shutdown pot, and it's all the way up. If I turn it to roughly there, that is maxed out, and it's sitting right there. So whoever changed this out, it's absolutely not in the correct position. So I'm going to put it roughly about right there, just to start us off as a nice base point. I probably should just put it in the middle, but in all my experience, you can see where the glue is. See where all this glue is? I'm going to probably put it somewhere close to where that used to be, probably about right there. It needs to be 9.8 volts, and we'll test that later when the time comes. But for now, I'm going to turn this over and show you the carnage. Now, it's got a replacement flyback and a cap kit, but we're going to have to pull the entire cap kit off and pretty much redo it from scratch because of what I'm about to show you here. So let's turn it over and get a good look here. So right off the bat, we've got this is what I do is I put a solder bridge across here, but this is way over the top. I mean, it's just like a gargantuan solder blob on there. It's complete overkill. And so that's problem one. Problem two is all of this carnage here. Let's get my pointers out here. We've got a complete missing pad on pad 5 here for the voltage regulator, but it doesn't matter because pad 5 isn't used. There's no connection. Pad 4 looks like it's going off over here with a jumper. Pad 3, it doesn't appear to even be soldered in at all, so that's a problem. Pins 1 and 2 are kind of haggard. I can't even see pin 1, so some of these pins are sticking out longer than others. We may have to change it out just to get a better connection. If we look at the rest of this, we've got carnage here at the HOT. Oh. We've got some carnage here at the HOT. This is all gone. And then at the flyback, every single pad is bad. We've got a jumper here and a jumper here, and this is lifted, and this is lifted, and this is missing. This is lifted, this is lifted. We've got a jumper here, which is too thin. That needs to be a thicker jumper. This is butchered. The heatsink here is mangled up. It's just, yeah, if you could look and see on, at the right angle, you can see that, we got lifted pad there, and this pad here is lifted, and it's just, it's just pretty bad. If we keep going here, let's take a look. We got more carnage over here. This is probably okay, but I'm going to redo it. We've got lifted pads right here. Where right there. Okay, there's a lifted pad right there. We got giant solder balls, giant cold solder balls right here on the yoke pin, this header pin, and then there's a giant cold yoke ball right there. So this is D18 here, across there. Yeah, it's pretty haggard. So it's not totally butchered, but we are going to have to take care of the voltage regulator pins. We'll have to fix these big cold solder balls, HOT rework, complete flyback rework, R101 rework. The capacitor over here, got to rework that. Yeah, it's going to be quite fun. We got another leg here. It doesn't appear to be soldered in very well. Yeah, so not totally butchered, but it's pretty bad. I've seen worse, but this one's not all that great. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Let's check to make sure. I didn't check the pots here. We'll set them all to center. Any of them broken? Yep, the red cutoff pot's broken, as we can zoom in here and see. Right there, red cutoff broken. The rest of them are okay. What about this one? Oh yeah, I like this because somebody has flattened these down, and they're a lot less prone to breaking, so those are all okay. Alright, so we got one broken pot. Par for the course. So what I want to do is, I'm not too worried about, there's nothing that I see here that initially would make me think, okay, that has to be fixed before we do anything. So let's just test components. Let's test some components and verify that nothing is actually faulty. And then I'll reflow this pin 3 here that appears to not be connected at all. Pin 1 needs some reflow. And then maybe, if everything tests okay and continuity out and ohms out and all that, I think we'll just test it the way that it is. Because strange whining noises. Prior to circuit breaker tripping. So let's go through and let's start by reflowing the voltage regulator and making sure that that's okay, and we'll test all the components. If everything tests okay, well, let's try it out and just see what it's doing. Then I'll do the rebuild based off of what's happening, or what we see happening, and see how well we can make it look afterward. It looks like someone's replaced all of the rectifier diodes, because they're all bent around and they're not the right. They're a lot beefier than they should be. But anyway, sometimes when you get a whining noise, sometimes when the flyback makes a whining noise, it can be the D18, this diode in here in front of C38, the width cap. If this diode is shorted or bad, it can cause this exact type of issue, whining from the flyback, and then it'll eventually just blow the fuse. So let's start by just checking D18 real quick, and then we'll go through and check everything else, and then reflow the voltage regulator. And if we don't find anything wrong, let's just test it, see what happens. Every time I do that, it reminds me of the Doors. If we go dun 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 dun, hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? I mean, it's the exact dun 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 dun. She holds her head so high, like a statue in the sky. Her arms are wicked and her legs are long. When she moves, my brain screams out this song. Well, D18 is reading both ways, but I don't read. It's not shorted. I guess that's all we really care about. I can't recall if it's supposed to read both ways. I have this spare one that was also sent in with this that I could rob parts from if they wanted to, or if we need to. So that's the correct way. Now if we turn the leads around, it doesn't read both ways, but this one also isn't populated. So let's grab one that's populated, and I just happen to have another one here. This is a 19-inch that the fuse blew in explosive fashion. This came out of our Altered Beast at the arcade, so I've already replaced it. But I'm going to troubleshoot this one off camera because I got as you guys know, I got plenty of videos on fuses blowing on the 7000. But let's see what this one reads, and we get 0.510 one way, and okay, yeah, it does read both ways on a populated chassis. So that's all I wanted to verify. So it does read a little bit low. It reads 0.4 instead of 0.5, but I'm not too worried about it. We can always remove it from the circuit, but I don't think that's our problem. So let's go ahead and keep testing. Let's start with the HOT. We'll test it from the top side here instead of the bottom side. The center is negative, and then 0.5 to each outer leg. Nope. HOT is gone. Let's test our voltage regulator. Pin 3 with negative and 4 with positive. That's not a correct reading. 0.1. It should be 0.15. And we should have 180 ohms across our B+ resistor. And we have 180, 177. So I think our voltage regulator is not good because this should read 0.151 or so. So I don't think the voltage regulator is good. Let's test C38. We're just checking to make sure the width cap is not shorted, and it is not. Okay. We already checked D18. Let's check R97. Should be 270 ohms. 260 is a bit low, but that's close enough. R96 should be 1.8K. 2.1, that's out of spec as well. R88 should be 1.8K. That's good. R89 should be 3.9. Yeah, 3.8 is close enough. R101 should be around 5K in circuit. There we go. 4.8, close enough. I'm a little concerned about R97 and R96, but it shouldn't. That's not going to cause it to be reading 2.1 instead of 1.8 for 96 and 260 versus 270 for 97. That's not going to cause it to be it's not out of tolerance enough to cause a fuse to blow or take out an HOT, so to speak. Let's check our rectifier diodes. 23, 24, 19, 20, 21, 22. So those are all okay. R104 should be 15 ohms, and it is. R103 should be 2.7, 2.8. Well, it looks like voltage regulator and HOT. Let's test our C69 and C36. So C36 again, remember, C36 is going to read shorted in circuit if the HOT is shorted. If C36 is shorted or the HOT is shorted, either one of those will cause them both to read shorted. So we can't verify that C36 is good until we take out the shorted HOT. So let's test continuity on our flyback pads, since all of them are suspect. Okay, even though Flyback is butchered, it tests okay. Let's make sure we don't have any shorts across here. Nope. All right. Well, let's replace the HOT and the voltage regulator and see what it does. Because I'm curious to see a before and an after here. Let's use the desoldering gun here, and just for a visual, we can. I'm gonna have to use the iron because it doesn't get hot enough. Alright. Oh, I don't know why I did that. I gotta take the HOT out also. Let's do. Well, that pad's completely gone. Oh, is there a jumper on this one? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, let's fish these out of here, replace them, and see what that does for us. I probably should replace that broken red cutoff pot too. It just seems like I can never get, nobody can ever send me a chassis where it doesn't arrive with the broken pot. I'm just plagued by broken pots every one of these that I get. Let's test our HOT out of circuit, and we'll put it on diode mode, and you'll hear it beep. Gone. Okay, so we'll set that aside, and voltage regulator, mount up. I don't know why half the legs are shorter than others, but if we go across 3 and 4, yeah, see, it's bad. I think this is a counterfeit one. This is what the counterfeit ones do. Pin 3 and pin 4 should be 0.5 voltage drop, and we're getting 0.3. 0.323. So, yeah. Let me see. I don't think these are supposed to read together either, so it's shorted. It's shorted, and it took out the other legs out somewhere. So definitely bad voltage regulator, bad HOT. Let's get those changed out. Let me see if I've got. I think the cutoff pots are 200 ohms. Yep, 200 ohm. No, that's the drive pot's 200. The cutoff pot is 2K. I've got 2K ohm pots, so let's just get this changed out while we're at it. Okay, and we'll just zap these real quick. How come you know worky? There you go. Stubborn, eh? Ah, backbiter, eh? Listen, porcupine. All right. All right, we got 200. I don't need a 200. I need a 2K. And what? This is a 3130 because we've got a 24 25-inch. We got 3123. Let's grab an HOT. And 3130. Come on. Alright, so let's fish all this stuff back in here. And there's my 2K pots, so we'll set that aside. And I gotta grab a fuse here. I guess I should grab a fuse. So eventually when we get this working, I'll have to put a fuse in. So what the heck just happened to my? Disappeared. There they are. So we got our HOT, voltage regulator, 2K ohm pot, and a fuse, and I've also got a cap kit, so we will grab one of those later. I'll probably just do that off camera. Okay, we have parts in hand ready to go. We need to fold this back. And we'll set, that's already set to center. So let's put this in here. And okay, I think that'll work. Now let's get this HOT in here. Perfect. Come on, there you go. Okay, now let's grab these so we can fish this through. All right, HOT is in. I'll line these legs up here. I just do it this way. And then push it down through, and then should be lined up good enough now. Let's get that in there. Yeah, much better. Okay. That's secure. Let's solder these puppies in. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this here though. Let's just get the first three. Oh, sorry. Let's get the first three in. All right, like I say, the fifth connection is a no connection, so we don't gotta worry about that. How should I do this here? How do I bridge this big gap? I want to know. How do I bridge this big gap? How do I bridge it with a big lead? Is there anything left here? I don't think that there is. No, I don't think that there is. Well, this little tiny little jumper here, that's not going to cut it when it comes to passing this amperage. So we're going to have to beef that up. Alright, so we got that back on there like that, but it's awful close to touching the one next to it. The fifth one over here, I'm going to have to bend that out of the way. I probably should just cut the thing off of there. As a matter of fact, let's just cut it off of there. There we go. Don't need it. Okay. Well, let me... I'm going to take a lot of this solder off of here because I don't like the way that it's dull. And I realize I could have just done that to start with. And let's grab a bigger component leg. You know, let's try, we could just use one of these that I cut off from this. Or that I've cut off, that I'm about to cut off from this. From this bad one, I should say. Alright, so I got a lead here that's much better. Cut this leg off from that that shorted voltage regulator. And if we reposition this so we can solder it on here. I don't like this, but this may be our only option. Yeah, I mean, I really don't like that at all, but I think that might be our only option. It just looks completely unprofessional when you do things like this, but that's probably going to have to be our only way of doing this. And we're not touching number 5. Let's go to continuity mode. Make sure we're not touching pin 5, and we're not. 3 and 4 aren't shorted. Alright, so now if we go back to our diode checker, we should read around 1.51. -3, +4. There you go, 0.15, 149. It's still hot, so hit 150. Hit 150 technically. 150 is a letter. 150. I'll take that, but okay, voltage regulator should be good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with that, but that's probably going to have to. That's how it's going to have to be there. Easy for me to say. That's how it's going to have to be. Fill those up. All right. So we're taking care of the HOT, or so the voltage regulator. Where? Oh, HOT is installed. You herp-a-derp dummy. We're going to fold that leg over. I like to fold this leg over and just do one big pad, or one big connection, I should say. All right, so there's that one, and now we can fold this one over. And just go straight to my lover's heart. For me, nobody but me. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow flow. Straight to my lover's heart for me. Yeah, so we do it a little bit like that. Okay. Now, we don't need this jumper. Let's get rid of that. And what we'll do is just bend this leg over. We got the old pad left over. And there you go. I think that's a lot better than those jumpers that were there. I mean, it still doesn't look very good, but it's better than it was, I think. So HOT is in, so now let's check that. Make sure that that's good. Zip this back out, and HOT 0.48. Now if we go back to C36 that was shorted before, what do we get? See, there you go. And C69, there you go. So this is one of those ones that has the two individual caps in here instead of the one big four-legged cap. So, well, let's go back and make sure we didn't overlook anything. HOT is now good. Voltage regulator is good. We tested C36 wasn't shorted. D18 was okay. Our power resistors were okay. Not out of spec enough to cause any kind of problems. Rectifier diodes 104, 103. Yeah, I'm not going to really worry about D13, D14, R91 or 92 just yet. I just want to see if it powers up and makes any noises or what's happening the way that it is. It may have been making those noises because the shutdown pot was adjusted way too out of range. There's no way it should have been all the way to the right. So that was problem number one, I think it was. I keep saying, I think that's the third time I've used the phrase problem number one, but that was definitely a problem. We'll have to fix all the solder joints and everything if it does work, and then we'll redo the cap kit, because I don't know what kind of carnage was done with the cap kit installation, so I'm going to pull all this out and redo with a fresh one from scratch. So, all right, so with everything done now, let's go ahead and just power it up and see what it does. If it works and functions properly, we'll clean up the solder pads, do the cap kit, and then we'll call this one done. So, yeah, let's hook it up, see what it does, and go from there. Okay, so again, we're using a U5000 tube, which is why I have to use this little foam as an insulator, but we've got anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video remote, and I have my personal 2 amp circuit breaker installed in place of the fuse in case something does go awry. And I've got the shutdown pot adjusted where I think it should be or close enough for what we want to do for testing. And of course, if we get everything running, we'll test it with the meter properly, set it to the proper 9.8 volts and everything. So let's just see what happens now. So everything tested okay or within specs, so it should work unless there's something else out of the norm that's bad. So let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope. Ah. Something made a very bad noise. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. No. Something died immediately, and now it's just, now the isolation transformer is just humming. Nope, something shorted right out again. Oh, great. Okay, well, let's take it back off and go through it again and see what we can find. Well, I got the chassis back on the bench here, and I got the neck board removed. I was going over everything with a fine-tooth comb all over again, checking continuity from points to points and everything. I couldn't find anything wrong. But it turns out the HOT got taken out again, so something short of the HOT. And I went through and checked everything over again, and I couldn't find anything wrong. So I thought, okay, maybe the problem is, even though everything ohmed out okay, maybe the problem is the bad flyback connection. So I desoldered everything, and I went to pull the flyback out, and before I even got it out, I was looking at it in just the right light, and oh my God. Let's get this out of here. Look at this. Look at this. I have never seen anything like that before. It's not exposed, the high voltage isn't leaking, but look at this. It's like a giant tumor in the case. Never have I seen anything like that. Let me pause this. Okay, here, this is going to be our thumbnail right here. Look at this. That is just insane. Wow. So I think we found our problem, boys and girls. Holy crap. Yeah. Fortunately, I've got one right. Come on, you rascal. Right here. Boom. Okay. I got 2 left. Holy cow. Yeah, I think that's safe to say that our problem is that. Oh, wow. Okay, well, after discovering that, what we're going to do is I'm going to fix all of this. I'm going to fix all this, get a new flyback installed, replace the HOT yet again. I didn't see that the first time. You know, you have to look at it in just the right angle, looking down in there. And if I had, in hindsight, if I had gone ahead and checked D13, D14, 91, 92, R91, 92 before I had turned it on, I probably would have noticed that. But that's okay. It cost me an extra HOT. But I did check these anyway, and they're good. So nothing on the chassis checks bad. There's no way that this is not our main problem. So yeah, let's get a brand new one installed here. And then I'm going to do a fresh cap kit. I'm going to fix anything and everything that I need to fix. And I set the shutdown pot to match this other one here. When it comes to the ohms reading, so it should be somewhere around 9.8 now, but we'll check it afterward. So I don't want to put the new flyback in until I get the new cap kit installed because of C40 in here. But you know what I should do is let me replace C40 right now, and then I'll get the cap and I'll get the new C40 installed. Then what we can do is I'll get the flyback installed so we can see how I fix all this here. Let's just hit this real quick, because there's no reason to have this be a 2-hour-long video. So let me grab I need a 7000 cap kit here. Oh, this is the wrong. I do need another HOT though, since I've got this here. Well, only got one left. Hopefully we don't have another one go out on us, but I need to order some more parts. Okay, fresh cap kit. We're going to chuck that cap in the garbage. Let's grab the right cap here, and here's a negative. And let's get that soldered in. Dun 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 dun. Give it time to flow. All right. Okay, we got C40 changed out. It's soldered in nicely. Let's mark it as replaced. It's incorrectly. All right, so now let's get this replacement flyback installed and see if we can clean up these pads. And we'll turn it up a bit slightly in preparation. Yowza, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, how does this happen and not crack? Good Lord. I'm tempted to cut this open and see what that looks like inside, but oh man. I gotta clean these first here. All right, this should drop right in, hopefully. And it does. So now we just gotta figure out how to get this to sit here without falling out. I think that'll work. Let's hit this one. Let's hit This one. Okay. And not pretty, but that'll work. All right, so now we got to figure out how we're going to get the rest of these to work. So we got to figure out here 1, 2, 3 of them. So got to figure out 3 of these. And now, gotta brush off all these fiberglass bristles right into the garbage because they do get stuck in my fingers from time to time. And we'll go ahead and tin these traces. All right. And that one's already kind of tinned a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of these legs from this shorted HOT to make these jumpers here. So let's go to here. And we're going to start with that. Get back over there, you. There you go. Again, this is not going to look good, but it will be better than what we started with. Hopefully, anyway. Okay. There, that's not bad. Now, same thing. Let's tin this real quick. Alright, same thing. Gotta pay attention, got a solder blob there. Okay. Now let's grab this one. And we're gonna go, let's use this one there to there. So let's cut that right there. Let's see if we Alright, I think that'll work. Oh, you bastard. There we go. Stay there. Okay. Yeah, not pretty, but that's our only option. So I think that'll work. And then we got one more. And we're gonna have to go here to, let's say, there. Okay, now let's tin this up. And we'll grab this. And probably need to do this side first. There we go. God, that's hot. That got hotter. That got hot faster than I expected it to. Dang it. Get back over here. Now stay there. Oh, I said stay there and you didn't stay there. Let's see if we can make this work here. And that'll work for that side, and that should work for that side. Okay, well, it looks terrible, but we're gonna see if we can make it work the way that we have it here. So to clean this up, here's my method for cleaning. I just take my these tweezers. It's been a long day. I just take my tweezers here and scrape off all the flux. It makes it easier when you're trying to clean. I just realized my alcohol's out in the garage, or garage if you're over in Europe. So yeah, if you're in Europe, they don't say schedule, they say schedule. But they have no problem saying school. It's either schedule and shul, or schedule and school. You can't have it both ways. I really did burn my finger. Look at that. I got a burn. That thing got hot faster than I expected it to. Oh well, live and learn. Alright, so we're fairly cleaned up here. Let's go get the alcohol and clean this up so we can see how it looks afterward. I gotta cut away here and go grab my alcohol, come right back. Okay, so we got... Let's brush a lot of this away first, actually. Here's the brush. Okay, now we'll just put a little alcohol on there and go back over some of the spots we missed right there. All in there. Okay, not perfect, but a million times better than it was. That's the general... Oh, I got alcohol leaking. Okay, there we go. So that's the general way that I clean all these chassis. Just scrape away all this flux residue, and then I just use some alcohol and an old toothbrush. So, all right. Yeah, and this is no connection. You don't got to worry about that missing. So I think that'll fix us up on our flyback. Now we got to put another HOT in here, and then do the cap kit and the reflow and everything, and fix stuff like this. And then I'll come back and show it all off, and then we'll test it again. Alright, so you just bend that back ever so slightly, and then put our finger in there and bend it again, and you end up with something like that. And we can just take this and put it right in here. Like so. Do 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 do. We're going bowling, so don't lose her in Solon. Moon over Parma tonight. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Alright, HOT is in. Let's do what we did before. And we'll bend and snap. We'll bend this leg over this way. And we'll bend this leg over this way. And we'll bend this leg over that way. And that's all you need to do. But we do need to add a little bit more here. Okay, that'll work. That'll work, and this actually is not too bad. I don't want to add too much more to that, but alright, I think we will call that okay. Now let's do a little bit more cleaning here on this. I mean, there's not really a reason to do it now. I have to go through and do all of it over again at the end, but you know, we can make this look a bit better for the time being. Okay, and a little bit of alcohol. Don't pay any attention to that alky. He can't even hold a gun, much less shoot it. What the heck just happened? There you go. Alright, that's nice and clean now, about as clean as I can get it. Clean enough for government work, as they say. Should we try and even bother fixing this? No, because the whole trace is gone. Look at this, the whole thing's gone. Why somebody would remove the heatsink for the HOT, I can't say, but yeah, so, I mean, it's still grounded from the, it's still grounded over here. Yeah, why someone would do that, I don't know. They probably took the whole thing out for some reason, but it's still grounded and bonded over here on this side to these over here, that one and this one. So, well, you know, I don't know if we should even bother making a jumper there. We could, I mean, we can do another leg here. Let's bend that. Gotta figure out the right angle here. We'll go like that. Dun, 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 dun. And I'll get back over there. Okay, that'll work. Now we just need to solder this to this. This is not a structural connection, just an extra ground reinforcement connection. Alright, so that'll work there. Now let's see if we can cut this piece off here. With my broken cutters, that'll work. Alright, so I'm going to cut away here. I'm going to install a full new cap kit. I'm going to fix all of the aforementioned bad solder joints and traces. When I come back, I'll show it off, all repaired and ready for testing, and then we'll test it and see if this indeed was our problem. Holy cow. So stand by for a moment. I'll come back, have all that work done, and we'll test it out. Okay, just like that, it's all done. Full cap kit, full reflow, got the new Flyback installed. We saw all the rework on the Flyback pads. I got the neck board cleaned up and all the wires organized and everything, so we should be good to go. I even got the bipolar cap on the 723 board, riser board here replaced, as well as this 50 volt 100 cap that is not normally on the K7000. If it has this mod, the 723 mod board, there's a 50 volt 10 bipolar cap and a 50 volt 100 cap that goes right there. So those are two extra caps that are not normally in the regular cap kit. But everything's still tested okay, and if we look at the back here, we saw that all the rework that I did on the Flyback, but I also got the rework done. We saw that I got the rework done there. I fixed all of this giant solder glob. I mean, normally I just put a big solder blob across there myself, but since the entire trace was gone, I used what remained of the second HOT leg, just used an HOT leg to put across there, made that jumper. And then I think I did, I think that was the last one that I had to do, because the other ones I used over here on the Flyback. So, and then nothing else really was bad. Redoing the cap kit fixed a lot of things, so I got this all cleaned up. The really only bad part was this right here, the voltage regulator and the Flyback. Everything else really wasn't too bad, and then of course we had to use a leg to fix this ground point. And then we had this over here that I just redid, I folded the leg over to the next pad, which is fine. So that's about it. So it's nice and clean, ready to go, full reflow. Everything has been touched up and checked and tested. So I'm 99.9% positive this will work now, and because I'm so positive, I went ahead and put a fuse in. We're not going to use the circuit breaker. So let's get it on a tube and turn it on, test it out, see what happens, and if it does power up and work, we'll use the meter here and we'll set our shutdown pot to where it reads 9.8 volts like we're supposed to, and we'll call it good. But just to review, you hook to test your shutdown pot to make sure it's adjusted properly. It needs to be 9.8 volts, and the way you read it is right here on the cathode of D12. Get over you. So D12 is right here. And right here, see that someone's already got that a Sharpie mark here. You put your positive lead on this leg of D12, and you put your negative on the frame, and you want to read 9.8 volts DC. And speaking of which, someone has removed D10 out of the circuit. Let me verify it's in there all the way. I think it's this one. No, it's not that one. Which one is it? I know I'm off camera here. Hang on a second. This one. Oh yeah, it's in there. Okay. All right. So let's get this on a tube and test it out. Cross our fingers and see what happens. But it should work. So let's find out. Okay, so we got anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video, remote, all hooked up, ready to go. We have our meter on the cathode of D12, ready to read our shutdown pot. And all signs point to this should work now. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it did work and started ticking, and we had 9 point. Please work again. Let's try one more time. Oh, look at that. We have a bad. Check this out. Okay, I'm going to focus the camera right on the HOT. We have a bad insulator. I'm going to remove the light here, and I'm going to turn the chassis back on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yikes! Oh, now I lost my light here. There we go. We got a light show. So we need to fix that insulator. Wow, okay. Well, let me get it out. We'll replace the insulator. I'll come right back and we'll try this for take 3. All right, so brand new silicone insulators installed. HOT was good. It was not shorted again, so we're once again set up to read shutdown. So let's turn it on, take 3, see what happens. 1, 2, 3. And then it clicks off. So this jumped up to 10 point something or other. And then it shut off, went into shutdown. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, that's 10. We don't want that. We want 9.8. So let's turn this back down, roughly there. See what that reads. Oh, immediately in the shutdown. So I gotta go the other way. Let's go right there. See what that does. Okay. 9.7. And it's staying on. Nothing on the screen quite yet. But 9.8 is what it's supposed to be, 9.7. It appears to be happy at 9.7. Nothing on the screen just yet. Let's try a little brightness and contrast here. Let's get the camera on the tripod and see what we can get going here. Alright, let's try a little brightness. Aha! Vertical hold. So contrast down, brightness down. Screen pot up till we get raster lines. Let's put it in focus here. There we go. Back down until the raster lines just go away. And we will supplement with black level till the background no longer is not dark anymore. There we go. Contrast. Right there. How come our focus is drifting in and out? Is our focus connection bad? Because we keep drifting in and out of... See, right now it's out of focus, and then it zapped back into focus. Okay. Let me verify that our focus pin is actually connected properly. So if we zoom in here, you can see that it's in focus. Oh, no. The focus keeps zapping in and out. Yeah, out of focus, focus, out of focus, focus. Okay, well, let me turn that off. Let's disconnect the neck board. And I am pretty sure it's in there properly. But I may need to get it in there a bit further. Okay, hang on. Let me do a little surgery. I'll be right back. Well, looking at this focus pin, it's splayed out and the plastic piece is broken. If we look here, the plastic is broken. I can do this holding the camera. The plastic's broken and the focus pin isn't even touching because inside there it's kind of splayed open. It's broken into two pieces. So you have the kind of hook that goes around. There's a little hook area there. Then this piece here clamps against that. And it's all just smashed and broken apart. So I'm going to see if I can super glue that all back together and kind of crush that back together because I don't think that was making contact with the focus pin. I think that was our problem. So let me see if I can get this fixed and then we'll try it again. Alright, so I got the plastic part of that socket super glued back together and I used the soldering iron to kind of plastic weld it so it stays, well, it won't break again. And then I used my tweezers here to go down in there and kind of squish the metal tab back together so there's more friction against the focus pin inside the socket. So let's see if that worked. It should. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. I'm 100% positive that was the cause of our focus snapping in and out there. So let's fire this up. And of course I'm going out of focus. Why are you ironically going out of focus? You know what? Let's turn on the tube first and then use the tripod because it doesn't like to focus up here for some reason. There it goes. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Right to life. And let's wait for it to give me an image here. There we go. And let's look and make sure that it stays in focus. Yep, I think we got it licked. Okay, so that took care of that. Man, this is just one big problem child. Issue after issue after issue. But I think we're going to be good now. So let's zoom in and we need to adjust some things here. We're too wide, but not a big deal. Okay, we're a little bit too bright, so let's turn our brightness down. Nope, flyback is too high, so let's adjust our flyback down. There we go. And let's do brightness, which should be right there. Contrast. Nice, okay. And Okay. Vertical size. Let's adjust vertical size here. There. Oh wow, we got to adjust 50 to 60 hertz pot. Yikes. Each position, that works. Vertical position, that works. That's all of them. But if you look here, we've got a squished image on the bottom, and I'll zoom in on it, and we'll adjust our 50-60 hertz pot to accomplish the adjustment of that. And here we go. And boom, fixed. All right, now let's zoom back out. Oh, wrong way, you doofus. And we're way too wide. Yikes. All right, let's do, we need to adjust our blue. That's better. That looks pretty good there. And vertical size, right there. Okay, H position. I need to put it right there and adjust our hold a bit because the hold is off. There we go. And let's put some coins in here. And let's get this going so we can adjust. And alright, H position should be roughly there. Now let's make sure that we can adjust our width. And the coil is frozen solid and it's cracked. Well, I am not going to be able to adjust the width because somebody has used a tool they shouldn't have and they have cracked the ferrite core. So the owner of this is going to have to replace that coil before he's able to adjust his width. But the main focus of this video has been accomplished. Let's start again here. We have a functional K7000. The shutdown pot has been adjusted properly. We had a shorted HOT, shorted HOT, bad voltage regulator. Then we had a faulty flyback that was bubbling. So those three issues combined with a bunch of iffy bad solder joints brought this back to life. So, I guess if you want to count it, we can count the bad insulator. So shorted HOT, bad HOT insulator, bad voltage regulator, bad solder joints, and a bad flyback. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after getting all that cleared up, oh no, I forgot once again that so much time goes by between when I start these and when I finish them. We had a broken red cutoff pot as well on the neck board. So six faults on this thing, or 6 issues. But I'll let it run for a number of hours like I normally do, and otherwise we'll call this a success. Let's see here. Oh, well, again, one more thing I forget every time. The 7th thing is the bad neck connection in the neck socket. The cracked plastic and the splayed out socket. So if you want to count them 7 different things, one of these was the one I replaced. His one here is the one I replaced that shorted out. But we had the HOT and the voltage regulator and the broken pot and the bubbling flyback, holy cow, and the neck socket issue and the insulator issue. Yeah, I don't know, I think that's all of them. But anyway, so yeah, all that work and everything is ready to go and looks and works great. So, oh man, that was a fun one. So thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And we will see you next time.